Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori and today I am working in my December daily album on another story number 3, I believe. I was originally going to do something else for story number 3, but I fell behind on December daily before the month even began. I had fully intended to not post anything on December 1st and then go my story 1 on December 2nd and so on and so forth, and I have already messed that up. So I went on this whole crazy little thing and ultimately just changed my mind on everything, and so I have story 1 uploading right now as I'm recording this video, and it's going to go live tomorrow, which will be December 3rd. So with that, I also have a blog post or partial blog post submission due for Tracy Redesigns on the 5th. So following that new kind of way of uploading, story number 3 should be uploading on December 5th, and I wanted to record a process video for what I'm putting together for that blog post. So that is what I'm recording now. Obviously this is going to be a little bit ahead of when I actually need it, but I'm not going to be home at all tomorrow. So I'm trying to kind of plan ahead a little bit, and since I already kind of know what I'm doing for this one and I just want it to be a specific day in my album, I figure I could just do it ahead of time and then have everything ready. So I have a lot of stuff here. The blog post that I will be participating in is an oldie but goldie blog post for the All Is Calm collection, and I love this collection. I love all the papers in it. I have a whole bunch of stuff here that is scraps. Let me pull out my scraps first. From another project that I worked on with this collection for another blog post. So all of these ones were scraps. So I wanted to get those used up as well just because I love them so much. Like, look how pretty this paper is. So cute. I love this plaid. So what I did and what I decided to do, let me get some of these embellishments out of here. I'm going to do a then versus now kind of situation. I am short one photo for what I'm ultimately planning to do. However, I can take that photo at any time and just adhere it to the back of this one. This photo is from when my husband and I were just wee little babies. This was our very first Christmas together ever. Is this focusing? Come on. There we go. This was our very first Christmas together ever. And so I wanted to take a photo of us in this exact same kind of position to paste on the back of that. So then we can do a then and now comparison. So I've got the year that the photos were taken, how big our family was, who was in our family, what our home was like, because back then we were living in a 1-bedroom 1-bathroom apartment, and now we're living in a house. So there's lots of differences. So I made like a whole little then and now situation. I pulled in this patterned paper into Photoshop and then just typed over it and printed it out. It's the exact same size, I believe. So what my plan is, this is going to be my back. This paper right here. So that's going to be my back. This scrap is going to be my front. So I'm going to trim these down to match. This particular card here that I made, I actually tried something that I think worked out fairly well. I wanted this to be kind of a pocket and pull out, like this tag pull out of this pocket. So I just put this paper back in my printer and printed out another pattern on the back of it. So I printed out this wreath pattern, super cute, just so that this wouldn't be like super empty. I didn't want that to be the case. So now I don't have that problem. And then what I would like to do is I'm probably going to trim this down a bit, this particular paper, because I want more of the plaid to be showing. I'm going to put this paper on here, but I'm not going to adhere it down. I'm going to, this was my other scrap piece of this floral print. I'm going to place a small piece of that right here, just so it covers like just the bottom. And then the photo can kind of barely tuck into here, but then you can pull it out and flip it over to look at the then versus the now. I'm thinking about potentially adding like a string or something and like stapling that to the page. That might not be something I do on camera today because I have an idea, but I don't have the tools that I need to do the idea. So I might leave myself some space to do that thing, and just do it off camera once everything is said and done. But I'm thinking maybe I'll add like a little hole here and tie a string around both of the photos once I have the second photo, obviously, and then take that string and staple it like a little loopy staple, a loopy string stapley thingy to my actual page here. That way, if it does fall out of this little teeny tiny pocket that I'm going to create, then I don't run the risk of just losing the photo altogether. So I did start punching this off camera, and then I was like, oh shoot, I should record this, because I did want to record it. I just get so caught up once I'm printing things out that I forget. So I'm going to finish punching this and start getting these items trimmed down and then laid out to kind of see where I'm going. So, but first and foremost, I'm just going to punch this, and then I'm going to trim everything down so it's all the right size so I can really see what's going on. I also pulled out these Concord and Ninth pebble enamel dots, and this is the, I don't know what color this is, but it's like a very, very light gray, and they're super pretty and they look so good with this paper collection. So I'm going to be sprinkling some of those around as well. I also have some of these stickers, quote unquote. I print them out as die cuts. So I've got some of these die cuts printed from the collection, and this Joy banner from the Ellie's part of the collection. All right, so let's get our papers situated, and then we will move on to kind of messing around with things. Okay, so I forgot that I was doing my live voiceover while I was actually doing this. I trimmed off the edges of this one, but only 2 of them. And what I'm going to do is just kind of line these up corner to corner and just tape them down. Since I'm not adding really any bulk, it's just going to be the 2 pieces of paper, I will be able to kind of work on top of that. And then I was also just kind of measuring to see if this tag is going to be too big or just right. But I think I'm really going to need to decide that once I actually have it back in my album, to make sure that it is fitting the way that I would like it to. So I'm just using red line tape to adhere down my actual pieces here. And then once I've got that done, I will kind of figure out how I want to do my pages. I don't know if I've ever tried to hole punch over red line tape, so I hope that's not going to cause me any issues. I guess we will find out in the next couple of minutes. Well, maybe not the next couple of minutes, because I'm sure this video will probably be longer than a couple of minutes, but you know what I mean. I'm going to pull out my scoreboard and use that to help me align this, because it's got a nice solid corner that I can just push my paper right into. Oh Lord, that did not work. I bumped it. I don't know if that's going to make me crazy or not. So I think what I will end up doing here, what a nice little hack slash trick for me to share and then completely mess up, but I promise it usually works. But what I think I will do is just make it a little bit smaller. You know what I mean? It's not gonna hurt anything for me to lose an 1/8 of an inch off of this. So I will just trim everything down to be just a touch smaller than I originally had planned. And then that way it'll still sit in my album properly and not be crooked. Okay, and then the last piece is just trimming this off. All right, step 1 complete. We have our pocket. Another thing I think I will do before I start actually getting everything situated is punch my holes, because I very often forget about the holes, and yeah, that's not usually a good thing. So I'm just going to punch those first. Okay, since this is going to be like a kind of a tag pocket, I guess, situation, I just trimmed the rest of that messed up edge off of there. This should fit right in here. And I'm just going to pull this over just real quick. I want to get an idea of where these are going to fall. Yeah, I don't think that'll be an issue. Just like that. So we will leave that as is. if I do anything more to that inner kind of taggy thing that I made, it's probably just going to be maybe cutting actual like diagonal tag lines. That might be the only other thing that I do for that particular So now let's figure this out. So I do want to have a ripped edge on this one. We all know how I feel about ripped paper. I think what it is about the ripped paper is that it takes away the feeling that everything needs to be lined up perfectly because there's no straight edge. Whereas whenever I am using like the actual straight edges, I can see just the slightest difference and it drives me insane. One thing I hadn't fully decided is if I was going to have this cover the full bottom or if I was just going to cut it into a strip. And I think I might just have it cover the bottom. I do want this one to be over a little bit, closer to the holes, because I kind of want when the pictures are sitting in this little tiny pocket, I kind of want them to fall off of this ripped paper. So I really like where that is. So we will get that adhered down. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess here. I think I will make this come up a little bit because I really want to use this cute little joy banner. And if I've got this kind of free hanging all over the place, I don't want it to mess with that because this is a very delicate little piece. Like if you can see how small that is. And that's paper, so that's delicate. We don't want that bumping things. I was also thinking that I could position, I had a couple more over here. I could position some of these embellishments to be able to tuck the top of the photo behind, just to kind of have like the bottom hung down, the bottom kind of stuck down, and then have the top be able to tuck behind something as well. So that is going to be something that I'm going to like kind of look into a little bit before or when we get there. So I just need to decide how far up I want this to go. I'm gonna go with red line tape again to adhere this down. But I'm just going to place it right under where I want the photo to sit. Because I'm planning to have this come up just underneath the second dot here. And then I'll just use my regular adhesive for the bottom piece. And then I'm just going to pull my paper trimmer out and use that to trim off this excess here. So now we've got a little teeny tiny pocket. I also have all these other things. Print and cut out. So let's see if anything else kind of calls out to me before I adhere that down. I really, really like this one that says all is calm. The home is really cute too. I love this Comfort and Joy one, but I wish the comfort were like where the F was right here. Where the F falls down, I wish it would be right there. I think I would be more likely to use it. I think I'm gonna go with home. So now we just kind of have to figure out how we're gonna lay these embellishments out. So I really like the way this little heart looks with this flower kind of tucked behind it. And then I can place this flower just right there. That could be super cute. And then I like having these three down here as well. And I can have them hanging over the edge just a little bit. That'll kind of help keep that in place too. Okay, I desperately needed to sit down. My back is killing me. I feel like I've been standing for ages. So hopefully you can still hear me but not actually see my microphone. Everything looked good before I sat down on my camera, but I can't actually see the camera when I'm sitting down, so it's a whole thing. I'm going to tape these two together because I do want to make a little tag situation. Okay. I'm just going to use one of these from the Allie Edwards kits as my guideline here for trimming off these edges. Okay, so am I still in shot? All right. That will be super cute. I'm gonna start with the home, getting this adhered down here. I ordered some more of these Simon Says Stamp 3D foam squares, and I love them. I think that these will fit perfectly behind these flowers. They're like the perfect size. Oh, dang. They're the same. They're not the same dimension. Are these ones? Oh. Well then. Can I take this off? This foam square is a little too thick for my liking. for this being in my December daily, so I'm just gonna stick with the tiny ones because these tiny ones are very thin. The other tiny ones that came with that other set are just as thick, so yes, I like that much better. And then I think I'll leave the big one flat and bump up this tiny one too. I want to give this some space to tuck under, but I don't want to make it a like necessary act to tuck it under, if that makes sense. So I'm only going to put tape on one side of this. Hopefully that's focusing, but I'm only going to put tape on one side. And then that way I can just stick this down right here. And then when the photo is in, it'll tuck just right underneath. I also like that the photo doesn't have to sit straight on this. Now I'm gonna sprinkle some of these oh, they're pebble. That's the color, pebble. Some of these little enamel dots. I also need to put a number on here. Don't let me forget that we need a number. I am personally generally drawn more towards the teeny tiny dots, as you can see. If you ever use enamel dots, what size do you find yourself using the most? Are you more of a teeny tiny dot user, or do you use the big ones up first? Let me know down in the comments below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so one more and I think we'll be good. I like to have my dots in odd numbers. It feels more balanced that way. To me, at least. Where am I going to put this last one? Tuck it right underneath that little flower. Yes. That's where we're at so far. I didn't really leave myself a super ton of room to add a number, but maybe I can use one of these gigantic numbers I have and just place it on the back of this. I like that 3 there, but I also know I'd have to staple it down. Could I use regular glue? I'm just gonna put some tape on where the lines are big and red and hope that that's enough to keep it adhered down. Can you tell? I think that looks good. And I used up one of my big numbers finally. So we just need to, where did my little, we just need to add this. Gonna add it, Not a big fan of the green on green, so let me go find some ribbon. I have these two. A gold and then kind of a white with an iridescent trim. I think I like the white. And I think what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to cut out 2 pieces and I'm just going to double it up. I also want to make sure that I leave it just a little bit loose. That way I can move this little tag up and down. So that seems good enough. So I'm gonna staple that. Oh, see, you know, how many staples is too many staples? I was trying to actually get one of the staples into the ribbon, but I can move that. And then we'll be able to tuck this right in here. And then, like I said, I'll take a photo of myself and my husband in front of our tree and try and do this exact same pose is my thought. And then I'll probably do a little whole grommet thing here with like a little twisty piece of twine or something like that. I think this is it for this particular page. This will be the back. And then when it, ooh, oh my gosh, I'm sorry if I just shook the camera like crazy. It'll go in between these 2 pages, and thankfully I think this collection works really well with these 2 pages that I've got in here so far. They don't match perfectly. These look great together. This one doesn't match perfectly, but I think it's good enough. I think that's hopefully not what anybody's going to be paying attention to when they actually look through the album, other than me, but you know. So that's what we've got going on for story number 3. And then story number 4 is going to end up being the Dear Santa letters and Christmas lists. And I'll probably use up one of the big old Santa die cuts that I have and just put it right on the back of there. I probably won't do anything too crazy with the back of this, but that'll be the next video, is kind of working on that. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and have you ever done a then and now spread in your December daily? I was really excited when I found this picture, and I was super happy that when I was putting this layout together, that's what I thought of, because I was trying to think of a way to include it in my album this year, other than just a, oh, look at this old Christmas that I remembered type of way. So I like being able to compare this year to all of those years ago. I'm blabbering again. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.